Well, good evening and thank you for joining us for tonight's edition of Channel 1 Weekend with me, Richard Munga, as we bring you the latest beat in the world of politics and a few sports. And as we all know, Arsenal just beat Liverpool in penalties to win the Community Shield ahead of the new English Premier League season that starts in 2 weeks' time. So now, as we get on to our top story tonight, it's an update in regards to the number of tonight is Byron Abuli. Now, in a top story, Deputy President William Ruto has dared Jubilee leaders dissatisfied with the party's affairs to quit. Ruto wondered why some party members were supporting a rival party candidate for the 2022 presidential ticket. At the same time, he lashed out at alleged beneficiaries of the COVID-19 pandemic graft funds, calling for their prosecution.
The rift within Jubilee Party appeared to widen, with the Deputy President William Ruto daring those unhappy with the party affairs to walk out. Ruto, who is in Coast Region, queried the loyalty of some top party officials, terming it absurd for them to want to hold on to their positions in the party while supporting a presidential candidate from a rival political party.
Nyinyi ambao mumeamua muko huko Jubilee headquarters, lakini mumeamua candidate wenu ako Orange House. Sasa mnangojea ni mnafanya nini Jubilee House? Si mtoke Jubilee House muende Orange House. Kwa sababu mmeambiwa candidate wenu yuko pale. Bado mnatuongelesha nini wana Jubilee watu milioni 8? Mnatuongelesha nini? Mshaamua kati ya watu milioni 8 hamuoni mtu ambaye anaweza, hata kama si Ruto, hamuoni mwingine kati ya milioni 8 ambaye anaweza kuongoza Kenya.
Ruto maintained he will not back down from seeking the presidency in 2022, adding he will not be cowed by what he termed as power brokers keen on blocking his bid.
Matapeli na wakora hawawezi eti kunipatia masharti, eti kunielekezea ativitisho, ati kunishurutisha. Mnanishurutisha jameni kama nani? Mimi nimechaguliwa na watu milioni 8, nyinyi mmechaguliwa na nani?
At the same time, the DP lashed out at those involved in corruption at the expense of Kenyans who have been left without a livelihood during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Mimi sijapatiwa kazi na matapeli. Mimi sijaajiriwa na wakora na brokers. So, nataka niwaambie my friends, yale mmepata kwa ufisadi kuleni polepole. Wacheni kututapikia.
He reiterated his main focus was to deliver on the Jubilee Party's mandate and build an all-inclusive Kenya.
Tuweze kuungana sote tuunde Kenya na serikali ambayo haina mbara na haina mpwani, haina Mkristo na haina Muislamu, haina mdogo ama mkubwa, haina maskini ama tajiri. Sote tunaweza kujumuika katika Kenya moja ambayo sote ni sawa.
Leaders who had accompanied the DP on a tour of Nyali and Mvita constituency, including Kikuyu Member of Parliament Kimani Ichung'wah, cautioned against tribal and selfish politics.
Tunataka tuunde chama cha kitaifa. Chama ambacho Mbajuni akiwa Mombasa anaweza simama na hicho chama bila kabila kubwa na awe rais wa Kenya. Na tukayaamini yale. Sasa wamerudi nyuma, wanatuambia sasa tuwafukuze watu kwa Jubilee, watu warudi kwa vyama za kikabila.
Ukiangalia formula ilibakie vile vile. Pili, kwa sababu miaka 2 naibu rais itakwisha kama fumba kufumbua. Mwenyezi Mungu atupe umri na afya tufike 2022, alafu tuweze kuwa katika kikapu kile ambacho kitaunda serikali hii ambacho kitakuwa ni chako.
Wewe na mimi, katiba hii ya Kenya imekukosea nini? Kama kuna katiba nzuri zaidi duniani ni hii katiba yetu ya Kenya. Na kama kuna mabadiliko wanataka, sisi wabunge tunaweza fanya mabadiliko, hizo amendments ndani ya bunge kwa nusu saa na tumalize kazi tuende nyumbani.
Nancy Okwari, Channel 1 News.
And now to a daily coronavirus update, whereby the country recorded a further 164 new COVID-19 cases on Saturday, on a day that 5 people succumbed to the virus, bringing the total number of fatalities to 572. The number of confirmed cases in the country now stands at 33,794.
On Saturday, the country registered 164 new cases from 3,009 samples tested, pushing the total tally of confirmed cases in the country to 33,794. Among the new cases is a 6-month-old infant. Nairobi County recorded 56 cases, Machakos 24, Kajiado 15, Uasin Gishu 14, Taita Taveta 11, Nakuru 8, while Busia had 6 cases. The death toll resulting from the pandemic continues to rise, with 5 more patients succumbing to the virus, pushing the total number of fatalities in the country to 572. The number of recoveries also rose to 19,590 after 156 patients were discharged, out of which 113 were from the home care program and 43 from various health facilities across the country. Nancy Okware, Channel 1 News.
Moving on, health workers in Tana River County have issued a strike notice over unpaid training allowances, among other administrative issues. The health workers, who have threatened to down tools beginning Monday, are accusing the county administration of failing to pay them their allowances.
The country has been on high alert as it seeks to contain the spread of the coronavirus pandemic that continues to ravage the globe. But as the efforts to contain the disease intensifies, health workers in Tana River County are threatening to down their tools over unpaid allowances. The health workers are accusing the county administration of failing with regards to fighting COVID-19, noting that there were no existing isolation wards in the county for COVID-19 patients, neither mechanisms to protect them against COVID-19.
The basic things we are supposed to have in our hospitals, we lack them. Like, for example, a toilet. I can use a boda to go almost a kilometer to go and help myself outside there and come back. And that's not how health workers are supposed to work. So the government should make haste to stop this stalemate between health workers and the executive.
In the meantime, drama unfolded in Thika as police impounded vehicles found floating the Ministry of Health COVID-19 protocols during a major crackdown that saw several Matatu crews arrested. During the operation, confusion reigned as commuters demanded back their money after their journeys were cut short due to arrests, while some Matatus dangerously sped off. Thika West Deputy Sub-County Police Commander Daniel Kitavi says several PSVs that operated along Thika Road, Garissa Road and Thika Town had a habit of carrying excess passengers, especially at night.
Tulikuwa tumepata malalamishi, ndio hizo operation wakati ilipotangazwa tukaianzisha mara moja na tukawa kila wakati tunashika magari. Lakini inakaa ni kama kwamba motorists wale ambao ama SACCOs ni kama hawasikii, lakini operation, I just want to say that itaendelea mpaka siku ile atacomply.
And a group of youths from Majengo area in Transmara West who were previously employed and now jobless due to COVID-19 pandemic have decided that the pandemic will not limit them from fending for their respective families and themselves by engaging in a variety of income-generating projects. The group is involved in, among other things, filling up of potholes and the construction of a fish pond with the intention of rearing fish for commercial purposes. According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, at least 1 million Kenyans have lost their jobs or have been put on indefinite unpaid leave months after the COVID-19 pandemic found itself into the country, resulting in a major job crisis.
Tulionelea tukikaa bila kasi tutakuwa waizi. Tasaiba, tutaenda kupora watu. Kukaa bila kasi ni mbaya. Sasa tukaamulia tutengeneze barabara, barabara sasa kwetu ni mbovu tena pia.
Elsewhere, are cyclists who embarked on a journey from Moyale to Busia to sensitize the public on dangers of COVID-19 and the government health guidelines has completed his journey. Frederick Ochieng, who started his journey in Moyale on the 6th of this month, urging Kenyans to strictly follow the government's directives in order to bend the COVID-19 curve.
Wakazi wote wa taifa la Kenya, hasa kaunti ambazo nimetembelea kaunti 14, waifuate sheria za health ili tuweze kutoka katika janga hili la corona. Kwa maana corona haiwezi tolewa na serikali. Corona inatolewa kutoka kwangu na wewe.
And the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education is expressing concern over the safety of teachers who often commute to schools using public transport amid reports that schools might be reopened. Led by Mombasa Branch KUPPET Secretary General Ninette Kamadi, the officials who were speaking in Migori County said safety of teachers and school-going children must be considered before schools are reopened.
While as a union we are not opposed to students going to school and we welcome the idea of them going to school, our concerns are based on the safety of the students, the teachers, the support staff, and their parents at home.
Finally, women and youths in Kericho County have been urged to apply for funds from the Women Enterprise Fund and the National Government Affirmative Action Fund in order to improve their businesses as the effects of COVID-19 continues to batter the economy.
Hizi pesa wanafaa kuzitumia na kurudisha kwa sababu ni revolving fund. Na nimeambiwa kwamba ni interest ni ile kiasi kidogo ambayo inaweza kuwezesha. Kwa hivyo nataka kuambia hizi groups tafadhali utumie hii pesa vizuri.
Beatrice Gatonyangetich, Channel 1 News.
I'll always remember that your feedback on the news is always appreciated here on KBC Channel 1. So remember to send us your views via social media platforms on Facebook and Twitter at KBC Channel 1. And for those just tuning in, remember you can follow up on the earlier stories via our website at www.kbc.co.ke. Now, moving on to other matters, a section of the clergy is calling for sobriety as the country prepares for a possible review of the Constitution. Speaking during the ordination of the new Kitui Bishop Joseph Mwangela, the clergy say the political class must ensure that any amendment to the Constitution is tailored towards enhancing unity and development, and among other issues, of course, in the community and as well in the country.
With the constitutional review talk slowly finding traction back to the country's political landscape, the church is warning the political class against pushing for an amendment that will benefit a few individuals. Bishop Philip Anyola, who spoke during the ordination of the new Kitui Bishop Joseph Mwangela, saying the church will only support an all-inclusive constitutional amendment.
All of us, especially our political leaders, must take responsibility to ensure that political alignments do not become an excuse to put people to political risk, leading to the political violence we are used to seeing in every other election year.
According to the clergy, the ongoing political realignments should not instill fear among Kenyans, with the country having in the past witnessed evictions, murders, and ethnic animosity.
The manner of forced evictions in Joro and Mau area over the stipulated Mau forest cover are a scare and they are a scar on us as Kenyans. The county and the national governments have an obligation to commit wholeheartedly to creating and respecting systems of good governance that guarantee high level of service delivery. The high levels of poverty, mistrust, nepotism, violence, murder, human trafficking, tribal clashes, cronyism, and outright misappropriation of public funds show the rot in our governance systems.
Members of the clergy expressing opposition on the reproductive health bill, saying some of the proposals contained therein are in contravention of the Constitution.
We cannot claim God is in our midst when, in fact, we are allowing the evil of some individuals who may have killed their conscience to legislate for the killing of our unborn children. It is of utmost concern that in a country which believes in the sanctity of human life and human dignity, certain entities will be allowed to propagate ideologies that degrade the very dignity of the name of freedom of choice.
During the event, Bishop Joseph Mwangela was installed at the head of Kitui, taking over from Archbishop Anthony Muheria, who continued to act as the apostolic administrator for the diocese after he was transferred by the Pope to the Archdiocese of Nyeri in April 2017.
Now the question is, what are my plans for the diocese as I assume office? Jesus said, I came not to abolish, but to fulfill the law. I shall continue what has been started and sustained by my predecessors, so that we realize those dreams, as I said, while we explore new ways of building our faith here in this diocese.
Mwangela was appointed as the 4th Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Kitui by Pope Francis in a communication that was officially made public in Rome on March 17th. For Channel 1 News, I'm Gladys Mungai.
Now to quite a disturbing report in Narok, whereby authorities in Narok County have rescued a 68-year-old man with a disability who was allegedly held as a prisoner in his brother's house for the past 5 years. Police officers stormed the home of the victim's brother only to find him locked up and forced to live in deplorable conditions, rescuing the elderly man before rushing him to Narok Level 5 Referral Hospital for medical attention.
At the Narok Level 5 Referral Hospital, 68-year-old Emmanuel Nturere, a person living with disability, has been rushed to the facility to seek medical care. For the past 5 years, Nturere has been living in confinement at his brother's house. His days in solitary came to an end Saturday after police raided his brother's homestead, finding him locked up in the room he has called home for the past 6 years.
Kweli walipotuona wakafunga mlango, wakaweka kofuli. Ile jumba mzee anakaa ni chumba kichafu. Mzee mwenyewe analia, ni mgonjwa, hawezi pelekwa hospitalini. Anahudumiwi kama binadamu, amewekwa kama mnyama.
In 2014, Nturere is said to have lost his ability to walk after he was involved in an accident, a situation that has deteriorated over the past 6 years.
Hii ndio wheelchair ambaye anatumia akiwa kwa ile jumba, haoni jua, hatoki nje, anajisaidia pale kwa kitanda, chakula anapewa pale, cha kumdumisha tu, angalau aishi siku baada ya nyingine. Hii ni unyama, haitakikani kamwe.
Nturere was placed under the care of his brothers since the accident. According to Narok North Sub-County Police Commander Frederick Shiundu, trouble started when the victim assigned his daughter as the trustee of his parcel of land, a situation that has created friction amongst his family members.
Amekuwa akifungiwa katika nyumba muda huu wote. Akitaka kuona bindi yake inakuwa vigumu, bindi akijaribu kwenda kumuona inakuwa ni vigumu kwa sababu ya msoso wa mali ya mzee ambaye alijeruhiwa.
Because they wanted to inherit me, and me I didn't want them to inherit me. My child is here.
Shiundu stated that they had arrested 2 family members who had reportedly locked up the 68-year-old, denying other family members to take care of him.
Ni hatia kuchukua mtu kiwete amepata ajali na mumfungie kwa sababu ya kutaka kutoa mali yake. Hii si haki na hii si hatia mbele, hii ni hatia mbele ya sheria, hata mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu.
Ikawa ni ngumu kabisa kumuona. Na bado wakati ile nilimuona mwisho hakuwa kwa mazingira mazuri. Nikiwaomba niende nimtibu inakuwa ni ngumu.
Listen to go home. Okay. So because that Obama will collapse, and when I come out, I will have nowhere to go.
Virginia Silolei, his daughter, saying the situation had taken a toll on their family, even as she called for justice for her father.
Sasa nikimagine papangu anapitia hiyo yote. Hakika inavunja moyo.
Nominated Member of Parliament David Ole Sanko castigated those who had confined the elderly man, saying there was need for the law to take its course as people with disability are often faced with similar challenges.
Despite our disability, we have the right to own properties. We have the right of life. We have the right to access to our children. We cannot be denied the right to own property, to own land, or to access our children on the pretext of our disability.
This even as he issued a stern warning to individuals who oppress persons living with disability, saying they also had a right to live. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Jackie Wambiru.
Quite heartbreaking. And as mentioned earlier, you can always give us your feedback on the news via social media platforms, that is Facebook and Twitter at KBC Channel 1. For now, that takes us to the first break of Channel 1 Weekend, but don't go too far as we're going to be back with much more.
This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
Wiki hii kwenye Mkulima tutaangazia ufugaji wa ng'ombe na kilimo katika eneo kame.
Katika hii mashamba tuko nayo, iko na manufaa mengi sana. Hii ukulima haina expenses mingi. Kwa sababu ukiangalia nikimaliza kufanya kazi ya ukulima narudi naenda nalala pale, hakuna expenses kama kulipa nyumba, hakuna rent, hakuna maziwa, hakuna mambo ya kununua maziwa, hakuna mambo ya kununua mboga, kila kitu iko within. So unapata ile pesa umepata hata kama ni kidogo inakusaidia sana.
Kisha tuongeze dhamana gooseberry. Ungana nasi Jumapili saa 9:30 hapa KBC Channel 1 kwa uondo kamili.
This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
Wangari Maathai began an empowerment center which was funded by the Norwegian government. And what she did was bring young people together who had just finished high school. And she wanted them to be change makers. I think, and that's why the career mentorship comes in. We need to choose careers that we enjoy. We need to choose careers that we are really passionate about. Yeah. And that's why we need to come before the child goes into an academic course. Is that something they're going to enjoy? Is that their strength? So
next on,
I love you.
And I love you too. But when you talk about your past, I can't help but feel insecure.
But you don't have to feel like that, no. The past is the past and you are my present. That is why I'm here.
Keep talking to make sure that's not the only thing you can say. Go ahead. No, it looks like I can really talk now. Oh goodness, this is the best thing that's happened in a while. Please, I can't live without you.
Well, you're gonna have to. We're both gonna have to. Please don't cry. It's for the best.
In Love with Ramon.
We need this win, Wanjala. You have to win.
They are fearless, yet friendly.
I hope hauna machungu after ile game ya mwisho.
I'm allowed to be concerned about you, Wanjala. I'm your wife.
I will take good care of you. Fierce, yet fair.
Pa combo sasa. Pop. Choza kidogo. Pop pop.
Firm, yet faultless.
You embarrassed mom. All of us.
But it would be nice if someone would look out for me too. You don't listen to me. Because you always want to tell me how to... Jemo unadu nini hapa? You are embarrassing me.
Ina lopi mimi siwezani nayo. Kona, Kenya's daily drama.
Taina train ya tona muhimu sana kwa life yangu. Kwa hivyo vile mimi nafanya hapa ni upuzi.
Naweza kukusaidia kujua ni akina nani?
Mimi siwezi chukua msaada kutoka kwa Saitani. What is this? It's a make or break chance.
Your fun, fabulous, full team of Kona. Every fine weekday, right here on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back. Now, small-scale farmers will now access subsidized farm inputs online as the Agriculture Ministry moves to cut bureaucracy and middlemen in the sector. The program, being piloted in 12 counties, also seeks to ensure timely information to farmers as part of government efforts to enhance food security in the country. The revelations were made by Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munga during the launch of the National E-Voucher program and the ministry's digital strategy.
The digital platform will enable 200,000 small-scale farmers in the country enlist for the supply of farm inputs at subsidized rates. Farmers will access seeds, fertilizer, agrochemicals, and insurance from authorized agro-dealers.
The future of agriculture really lies on how much it is going to depend on technology. Precision farming, digital agriculture is the next frontier in agricultural farming.
Entered into an era where technology and e-commerce, e-marketing, and all the E's that go with ICT are essential for the increase in productivity among farmers.
Flagship 8 of the ASTGS seeks to strengthen research and innovation and launch priority digital and data use cases to drive better decision-making and performance management. We believe that a more targeted approach to research and innovation will improve data collection, data analysis, and informed decision-making.
Other services will include subsidized soil testing services, seeds, post-harvest handling tools, and other inputs needed to increase production after the government scrapped off a decade-long subsidy scheme implemented by the National Cereals and Produce Board.
Then the fertilizer never reaches the farmer in the price that it is intended. It always goes through middlemen who make the money. Those are the ones we call cartels, and that's what they are. What else can they be? And they are the ones who make a lot of money when you want to do some change.
12 counties will pilot the program before it is finally rolled out across the country.
The government, both national and county, will do its best to give incentives to farmers. Will do its best to provide the appropriate infrastructure. And will do its best to make the market responsive to farmers' productions. Unless the farmers themselves change in terms of culture, of ensuring that agriculture is a business. And I'm glad he himself recognized that agriculture is a business and behave in a business fashion. Then it is very difficult that this investment in agriculture will lead to some positive results.
The program targets 1.4 million farmers by the end of next year, and 2,300 agro-dealers will be involved in the provision of farm inputs to the tune of 700 million shillings. Meanwhile, the country's fishing sector is set for a major boost as a multi-billion aquaculture program funded by the World Bank is rolled out. The Climate Smart program will see farmers in 5 counties along Lake Victoria trained on aquaculture as the government seeks to expand fish production in the country.
The infrastructure that was needed to anchor aquaculture was not there. Hatcheries were not there. Training packages and institutions were not there. Partnership between the implementing government agencies and REACH was very weak, and the technology in modern fish farming existed with the universities, but did not exist with the implementers.
The Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization has already trained trainers from Busia County before the project that also focuses on value chain is rolled out.
Now to a bit of politics. The Amani National Congress Party has unveiled its new elections board under the party's new constitution that was ratified a few weeks ago. In its new dispensation, the NAC Party Elections Board will be tasked with planning, organizing, coordinating, conducting and supervising the party's primaries, nominations and elections of party candidates and elective officials of the party.
In efforts aimed at strengthening ANC party ahead of the 2022 general election, the Musalia Mudavadi-led outfit has unveiled its new elections board tasked with developing and maintaining a register of members eligible to vote in respective elections after finalizing the registration of party candidates for various elective posts. ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi, while presiding over the swearing-in of the new members of the Elections Board, challenged ANC supporters to brace up for tougher political times ahead.
We rebrand it. Please be fishers of men and women who will bring the diversity that is required in this party.
Mudavadi says it's high time Kenyans begin to realize and understand that the ideologies of the ANC party are centered towards ensuring that the lives of Kenyans are made better moving into the future.
You have entered the deep end. So we will all have to start swimming from the deep end. Not from the shallow end, but the deep end.
It's not an easy task. We have competitors, including yesterday night. I'm sure many of you have watched and followed the media. On a light touch, I was really surprised our competitors, some of them, adopting new tactics other than their aggressive attacks on their opponents. Now they are taking the defensive role. We need to analyze all this when we are undertaking our responsibilities.
Meanwhile, a section of political leaders from Embu County are rooting for former Embu Senator Lenny Kivuti to go for Embu gubernatorial seat in the 2022 elections. According to the leaders drawn from Runyenjes, Embu and Mbeere, Kivuti is the ideal candidate to steer the county into the next level of development.
Sikia vizuri nikiona niko university, ile mheshimiwa Rene alitafuta. Na hii university ni mwangaza kwetu. Na ningetaka viongozi kama hao. Na tuendelee na viongozi kama hao. Viongozi wako na maono ya kesho. The politics in Kenya, there is no vacuum. When we talk of development, we are yet to come and bring forth the blueprint of the development agenda that I would fathom to come and bring to the Embu people. Right now, we resolved to support what Wambora is doing as a governor, and we support what President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is doing for Kenya.
Elsewhere, a section of members of the County Assembly from Kakamega County want the security of County Senator enhanced amid claims of a threat to his life.
Sisi kama MCAs wa Kakamega County tumeghadhabishwa sana na jambo ya ku-assassinate senator wetu Cleophas Malala. Hatujua amekosa nini, na kuongea ana represent the will of people of Kakamega County.
Kuna watu ambao wanapanga wana threaten maisha ya Senator Malala. Tunataka kuambia kwamba hata ukiua mtu uwe mwili, bado ile spirit na ile kitu ambayo alikuwa anapigania huo inabaki. So tunataka kuambia kwamba mkijaribu kuguza Malala, tutatembea wote hii town Kakamega tu kwa watu karibu 2,000,000 na tutawatoa mahali penye muko.
The MCAs claim Cleophas Malala stands strong on matters of national importance and has placed him in danger of attack by his political detractors. For Channel 1 News, I'm Gladys Mungai.
Residents of Bawa village in Samburu County are living in fear after an explosive device was discovered near their residence. Retired Area Chief Paul Lelukumani says the unexploded bomb was unearthed by a tractor that was plowing a parcel of land at one of the farms in the village.
At the heart of Bawa village in Samburu County, an explosive device has been discovered, a development that has resulted to residents fearing for their lives. According to area residents, a child unknowingly picked up a metallic device and began playing with it, a situation that prompted the mother to take away the device that had been dropped by a tractor that was plowing at the nearby farm.
Wakachukua hiyo bomu, wakidhania ni shuma ya tractor ambayo ilianguka. So wakakuja naye, mama yao pia akakuja, akang'anyang'anya, akasema pengine ni shuma ya tractor ambayo ilianguka. So, kwa bahati mzuri, mzee mwenye bomu ambaye pia yeye ni askari alikuwa karibu. So yeye akachukua hiyo kitu akaona ni bomu.
Retired Area Chief Paul Lelukumani says the farm owner, who is a police officer, identified the explosive device as a bomb.
Polisi wakakuja pia kutoka Maralal pamoja na wakubwa wa polisi, wakaangalia, wakasema basi wacha waweke kwa shimo na wafunike kwa matawi ya miti
This is the second time a bomb has been discovered in the area, with residents expressing fear that there could be other undetonated bombs that were left by soldiers who used Muramura as a training base in the past years.
Ukiona vifaa ambayo ni ya shuma, msijaribu kushika kama huna hakika ni shuma aina gani, because inaonekana sio, pengine haiwezi kuwa ni hizi tu mbili, hii moja na zile ya mwanzo, pengine kuna zingine bado siko ndani ya msituni.
Nataka serikali ichukue hatua ya haraka, kwa sababu kama moja imepatikana kwa shamba, je, ni ngapi zingine ziko hapa ndani?
Now, the film industry is mourning the death of actor Chadwick Boseman, renowned for his role in the blockbuster movie Black Panther. The actor, who was a global sensation, was widely known for his role as T'Challa in Black Panther, which catapulted him to global fame. Though he was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in 2016, he continued to produce outstanding movies such as August Wilson's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and Marshall, and of course to The Five Bloods, while he underwent several surgeries and chemotherapy sessions.
On Saturday morning, the world would wake to the sad news of the death of 43-year-old actor Chadwick Boseman. Boseman succumbed to cancer, had been diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in 2016, which he has been battling as it developed to stage 4. The outstanding actor was catapulted to global fame when he featured in the 2018 Black Panther film as T'Challa.
Go at the city. Engage all defenses. Get this man a shield.
Boseman brings the superhero character to life in the film that predominantly features African-American cast that promote black excellence in a Marvel film.
Cause we out now. I waited my entire life for this.
In a Times interview, the director Ryan Coogler says the movie tackles another important genre, superhero films that deal with the issue of being of African descent. Netizens across the globe will flood different social media platforms with glowing tribute to the fallen hero, who is also a portrayal of a strong black in different films, including baseball great Jackie Robinson in 42 and musician James Brown in Gay to Nap.
Seriously, when you made your big scene, when you came out, I shed a tear. It was a big deal for me and my friends and definitely Howard University. So I just want to say thank you so much for showing us that there are avenues for us.
Ain't you?
Despite his ailing condition, Boseman went ahead to produce outstanding movies such as August Wilson's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and Marshall to the Five Bloods, while he underwent several surgeries and chemotherapy. He died in his home with his wife and family by his side. For Channel 1 News, I'm Serafina Robbie.
Quite sad and quite inspiring at the same time, of course. Now let's have a look at what's happening at the county level, whereby the government has set aside 3 billion shillings towards automating services at 379 public hospitals in the country. The funds will go towards installation of ICT infrastructure in a move aimed at ensuring effective storage of data and promoting record keeping. More details in the county briefs with Yusuf Farah.
ICT PS Jerome Ochieng, who was in Kisumu, says the initiative targets to enhance telemedicine in the country. Through the ICT interface, doctors and health workers can interact at the click of a button and share patients' information for quick interventions. The PS says electronic health was the new frontier in offering quality medical services, calling for partnerships between the national and county government. So far, 1.2 billion shillings has been used to put in place infrastructure in 50 hospitals.
But you're all aware, we actually signed this contract sometimes in March, but then immediately after COVID hit and the movement and things like that was a challenge, so they were not able to move. But then they've promised that in the next 6 weeks, give them 1.5 months, this project should be completed, and actually we should just start enjoying the benefits of an interconnected hospital management system.
Elsewhere in Garissa, a section of the business community welcomed the directive by the president for the DCI to hasten investigations into the alleged impropriety at the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority. Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry National Director Omar Sadiq said it's unfortunate SMEs were suffering owing to the pandemic while others were engaging in wanton graft.
Hatuungi mkono mambo ya ufisadi ambayo inaendelea katika nchi hii ya Kenya. Sana corruption ambayo imefanyika kwa hii mambo ya COVID-19.
In the meantime, the government has warned chiefs and village headsmen against favoritism, corruption and cronyism in the implementation of Kazi Mtaani program in the country. Housing and Urban Development Principal Secretary Charles Hinga said the program has been successful in transforming the livelihood of the youth.
Tumeongea na EACC na DCI pia. Tukasema ya kwamba waingie kwenye our county implementation team, all right? Ili if there is anybody who is trying to introduce ghost workers, they are able to smoke them out. So we have put in enough measures.
And Mwananchi Credit says it has enhanced its risk-based lending model on individuals seeking unsecured loans with the lender. The firm says since the outbreak of COVID-19 in March, the institution has been renegotiating loan repayment plans with customers to make them flexible.
As a growing business and as a robust business, we are always up to the task to ensure that at least each and every particular challenge that comes our way, we are able to devise tailor-made solutions that will at least feed into what our customers actually want.
Elsewhere in Kisii, church leaders of God in East Africa eulogized the late Reverend Dr. Archbishop Byram Makoha as a vocal in the fight against graft. The leaders mourned him as an advisor, visionary and symbol of anti-corruption in society.
Yeye ametuwezesha kwa ajili ya kuweka mikakati kuanzisha mashule, tumeanzisha mahospitali, tumeanzisha masomo katika theolojia na pia mambo mengi ambayo yanahusikana na ukuaji na maendeleo yetu ya kanisa.
And Water PS Joseph Irungu says that Rai is still the lowest point in the city and hence there is need to complete the second phase of a water treatment plant. Upon completion, the plant is expected to serve Kikuyu, Ruaka, Mwiki and Zimmerman.
We have to know how to manage our sewerage. For now, and we are told that 80% of the water that comes ends up being wastewater. So where do we take that wastewater? Unless we develop ROI, we bring in that phase 2 of the water treatment plant, we bring a phase 3, because the RAD is there, then the waste ends up, we may end up in rivers.
Finally, traders in Naivasha are up in arms over alleged harassment and extortion by a group of people claiming to be from the Music Copyright Society of Kenya. The traders are mainly operating cyber cafes, have in the last 2 weeks lost thousands of shillings through illegal fines imposed by the group, which is backed by security officers. Incidentally, despite the officers arresting over 30 people in the last 1 week, no one has been taken to court or charged with any offense.
Lakini wakati niliuliza Deputy OSPD anielezea kwamba kama wako na kibali ya kutushika, wakati nilitaka kujua zaidi kwa sababu tukifika kule walibadilisha wakasema wametoka katika ni watu anti-piracy. Sasa wakachange tena hiyo story. Wakati niliinsist kujua na tukasema tujue kama wakubwa wamewatuma hapa, niliweza kuajiliwa bila kutoa pesa wote.
Tunajua kuna copyright ndio, but who is genuine copyright? Tunahitaji wala watu kama kuna watu wa copyright, wa educate watu. Wakuje kwa sisi, watuambie sisi ni watu wa copyright and this is the law ya copyright. This is how you need to identify mtu ametoka kwa copyright na unafaa kulipa wapi. Hata kama ni kulipa copyright, tunalipa wapi?
Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
Next on.
Basically tunadeal na issue ya kutouch the needy, yani tunasema issue ya mentorship to boy child na girl child. At least tunataka kuona venye tunaweza wasaidia at least how they can make it in life.
Our thematic areas is education. We believe education is the fighting chance for any child with disability. If we give them education, they become lawyers, they become engineers, they become journalists. But if we deny them those opportunities, they will resort to their disability to go to the street and perhaps maybe
using that as, let me say, quote-unquote qualification to woo sympathy.
Differently abled, differently.
This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
Shida nini? Huyu mtu amejua kabisa amekuwa exposed. Na anajua the next campaign hatashinda.
Hayo sasa ndio sio yataka mimi. Sijui ujue uko wapi, sijui utakwenda kumface. Ukishakwenda kule, unkwenda umia nafsi yako. Utafanyaje?
On the next episode of Behind Closed Doors.
Now let's move on to sports, where with national and presidential nominations set for Monday next week, FKF presidential hopeful Tom Alila has called on the Electoral Board to ensure this year's elections are done by the book. Branch elections will be held on 19th September, while the national and presidential elections are set for 17th October.
With national and presidential nominations set to be held on Monday, FKF presidential candidate Tom Alila has called on the Electoral Board, led by Kentai Stikolo, to be impartial and ensure the delayed elections are done by the book.
We need to do these elections, and also these reforms I'm talking about. We need to have the elections once and for all, and we close this chapter, because you see the sports minister has already put the protocols of opening various sporting activities. So the sooner we get done with this, the better.
Alila, who served as NEC member for North Nyanza between 2013 and 2016, applauded the board for amending the voter register, but insists that it should relocate their offices from Kandanda House to be fair to all aspirants.
The preparation they have made were okay, but they should not be seen to be housed in Kandanda House, where NIC also operates. That beats even IBC is never is not domiciled in State House. It's an independent office. They need to have an independent office so that the election can be to show fairness, where they can look for an office somewhere where stakeholders, because it's an election.
Alila hinted of joining a coalition with other aspirants as they work towards ousting current President Nick Mwendwa, who is gunning for a second term in office.
Reforms to be done in football, and we must also agree to negotiate. It should not be, we'll put our self-interest aside, and then we see where we are going to go, so that we can put a formidable candidate to run against the incumbent.
Returning of nomination papers for branch elections was closed today and will be followed by the national and presidential nomination exercise on Monday. Branch elections will be held on the 19th of next month, with the national and presidential elections set for 17th October.
Meanwhile, the FC Leopards forward Elvis Rupe is set to remain with Ingwe for another season after agreeing to a one-year extension. The striker joined the team from Wazito FC in January on a short-term contract and was an integral part of the team, helping them finish 6th in the abandoned 2019-2020 KPL season. 13-time champions FC Leopards have successfully managed to extend Elvis Rupe's contract for another year after negotiations that lasted 3 months. Ingwe have been working silently in the transfer market so far, and the only player to have confirmed a pre-contract arrangement with them is Peter Thiongo from Kakamega Homeboys. Meanwhile, midfielder Saad Musa has dismissed reports linking him with a transfer to Wazito FC. Musa, who joined the Den from Thika United back in 2018, is among the players being linked with a transfer to the ambitious club this transfer window. However, the player has come out to dispel the rumours by stating that he has a running contract with Ingwe, which he intends to honour and is already preparing for the new season at the club. Wazito FC, on the other hand, have been busy in the transfer window, having signed 13 players so far, among them Maurice Ojwang from Western Stima, Stephen Odhiambo also from Stima, Castro Ogendo from Bidco United, Peter Odhiambo from Gor Mahia and Jackson Juma from AFC Leopards. Others are Kevin Okumu from promoted side Nairobi City Stars, Jackson Juma from Ingwe, Edwin Omondi from Stima, Boniface Omondi from Gor Mahia, Kevin Kimani from Mathare United, and striker Vincent Oburu from Ingwe. Now moving on, the Wanda Diamond League announced further changes to its 2020 calendar with the postponement of a second Chinese meeting until 2021. Originally scheduled to have taken place on the 17th of October, the meeting would have joined Shanghai to become one of 2 Chinese meetings on the Wanda Diamond League circuit. The new meeting has now been postponed and is set to be launched in 2021 when the Wanda Diamond League hopes to return to a full calendar of 15 meetings. The new host city, as well as further details about the meeting, will be revealed in due course. The 2020 Wanda Diamond League season will now culminate in Doha, Qatar on the 25th of September. And to another story, Argentine international Lionel Messi has requested a personal meeting with Barcelona hierarchy in order to discuss a solution to his transfer request. Messi wants his lawyers present too, with the intention of finding a way out of the impasse over his contract clause and a way out of Camp Nou. And now elsewhere, of course, Aubameyang scored the last penalty as FA winners Arsenal beat Liverpool 5-4 in post-match penalties. Let's have a look at the highlights. Well, now, notably, the most notable moment, really, the best moment besides Arsenal lifting the title, the Community Shield title, of course, was when Aubameyang, winning the game for Arsenal, of course, sent out a tribute to Boseman, Chadwick Boseman, who, as I reported earlier, passed on earlier this morning. Well, he will forever be remembered as, by most, really, as a culture hero, having mostly featured in films that represent the plight of black people. Well, now that brings us to the end of Channel 1 Weekend with me, Richard Munga. But don't go too far, as Irene Muchuma is up next with the weather forecast. Have a good night.
I hope you're well and you enjoyed the sunny conditions that prevailed not only in the capital today, but across most parts of the country. Tomorrow, we are not looking towards many changes from what we had today, and thus we should prepare for outdoor activities, including swimming. Thank you for your time. My name is Irene Mchuma Odem, and tonight, Nairobi, Narok, and Kericho towns are the coldest. Temperatures stand at 12 degrees Celsius. Most parts of the country have been covered with partly cloudy conditions, save for a few areas over the western parts of the country and the Lake Basin region, where there are scattered wet conditions. And just as I mentioned earlier, tomorrow the morning hours will be dominated with sunny conditions right from the northern parts of the country to the southeastern lowlands, including the capital. There will be cloudy conditions during the early morning hours in Meru and Nyeri. Scattered wet conditions will be experienced at the coastal strip, that is in Mombasa, Lamu, and Kilifi. There will be rains over a few places in the county of Kisumu and a few areas in the county of Lodwar, and these will mainly be along the border of Kenya and South Sudan. In the afternoon, we'll see an increase of wet conditions over the Lake Basin region. These will be showers accompanied by thunderstorms, but then they will be limited to a few areas, including Kitale, Eldoret, Bungoma, Kisii. The northern parts of the country will continue to experience sunny conditions. Similarly, at the southeastern lowlands, at the coastal strip, sunny conditions will prevail during the afternoon hours. Temperatures are rising across the country. After a long time, we are experiencing highs of 37 degrees Celsius. In the county of Mandera, the capital will experience highs of 26 and lows of 12 degrees Celsius. And for you in Kisumu, expect highs of 26 degrees Celsius. And on that note, let's now cross the borders and have a look at the international forecast. Do have a good night and a blessed day ahead.